The speaker on that shelf is not what it used to be. Repair technicians have a blacklist, 5 brands that keep coming back through their door. Stay until brand number 4. That name will surprise you. Today, the list goes public. Back in the 1970s and the 1980s, building a speaker was an engineering problem. Companies like JBL, Klipsch, Tannoy, and Harbath designed drivers in-house. They tested them in anechoic chambers. They published real frequency response data. Crossovers used quality film capacitors and heavy-gauge air-core inductors. Cabinets were thick, braced, and built to be acoustically dead. You could buy a pair of JBL L100s in 1972 and keep them for 40 years. Many people still do. If a driver failed, you ordered a replacement directly from the manufacturer. If a crossover capacitor dried out, any technician could swap it for a few dollars. Then, starting in the 2000s, the economics changed entirely. Manufacturing consolidated into a handful of original equipment manufacturer factories. Brands that once designed and built everything in-house started ordering drivers, cabinets, and crossover assemblies from the same contract manufacturers. The result is a market flooded with speakers that look different on the outside, but share remarkably similar and remarkably cheap internals. Here is what that means for the 5 brands on this blacklist. Here is what the technicians have been telling each other for years, and what they have never said publicly. Until now. Brand number 1, Bose. Walk into any shopping mall in America, and you will see them. Elegant miniature speakers, a sleek control console, impressive packaging. Bose is not just selling you a speaker, they are selling you an ecosystem, and that is precisely the problem. The fatal engineering flaw in every Bose lifestyle speaker system is forced obsolescence. The central console permanently binds 2 technologies with vastly different lifespans. Speaker hardware is mature and stable. A good driver from 2010 is still a good driver in 2026. Digital technology, by contrast, ages out within a few years. That means when Bose shuts down the server supporting a control protocol, or when a proprietary module fails, you may have perfectly functional drivers attached to a system you can no longer operate. You paid $3,000 to $4,000 for a system, and you implicitly also purchased a dependency on that company's server infrastructure. Bose does not supply spare parts for failed components beyond ear cushions and cables. In one documented case, a Bose customer service representative tacitly acknowledged that built-in obsolescence is standard practice in consumer electronics. There is a second layer to this problem. In the golden era of hi-fi retail, dealers were contractually prohibited from demonstrating Bose products in a direct side-by-side comparison against competing equipment. A comparison would have immediately exposed the enormous gap between price and acoustic performance. The distribution model was never built on fidelity, it was built on brand perception. Repair technicians do not buy Bose. They buy separately sourced, standards-based components from manufacturers who keep replacement parts available for decades. Brand number 2, Modern Klipsch. Let me be clear about something first. The vintage Klipsch Heritage Series, the Klipschorn, the La Scala, the Heresy, belong among the most efficient and durable speaker designs in the history of consumer audio. A well-maintained Klipschorn from 1975 still commands between $1,500 and $4,000 on the vintage market and earns every penny. That is the Klipsch of the past. Modern Klipsch is now owned by Vox International, a company whose portfolio includes automotive electronics and consumer goods with no engineering heritage in high-fidelity audio. Every time Klipsch changes hands, engineering teams get restructured, supplier relationships get renegotiated, and the cost target per unit goes up. What repair technicians find inside modern Klipsch reference series speakers is not the Tractrix horn geometry and precision titanium tweeter diaphragms that built the brand's reputation. They find cost-reduced crossover components, stamped baskets where cast baskets belonged, and cabinet construction that prioritizes visual appearance over acoustic performance. The Heritage series remains a different story. If you are buying Klipsch for the long term, experienced technicians will consistently point you toward the Heritage line or the used vintage market. Leave the modern reference series on the shelf. Brand number 3. Sonos. Sonos is not a speaker company. Sonos is a software company that sells speakers as a delivery mechanism for its platform. That distinction matters enormously when something goes wrong. In 2019, Sonos offered customers a discount on new equipment. The condition was activating something called recycle mode on their existing device. Recycle mode did not recycle anything. It permanently bricked the hardware. Consumer reports verified the devices were rendered completely inoperable. Then in May 2024, Sonos pushed a complete redesign of their mobile application. The update removed core functionality. Older hardware became effectively unusable. Revenue fell 8% year over year. In January 2025, the CEO was forced to resign. The failed update erased nearly $500 million in market value. The hardware worked perfectly. A software decision made in a product meeting made it stop working. And here is the question no marketing brochure will answer. What happens to your $2,000 Sonos speaker system in 5 years when the companion app is discontinued and the authentication server goes dark? You are left with an expensive enclosure and drivers that no longer respond to any input you can provide. Technicians cannot fix a server that no longer exists. Before we get to brands 4 and 5, if this is the kind of content you want more of, subscribe now. No sponsored gear, no manufacturer relationships, just what the technicians know. Brand 4 is the one that is going to surprise you most. Brand number 4. And this is the one I told you to wait for. Bose and Wilkins. This name carries more trust in the audiophile community than almost any other. The 800 series has been the reference monitor of Abbey Road Studios for decades. The brand is associated with precision, heritage, and acoustic integrity at the highest level, which is exactly why what repair technicians say about modern Bose and Wilkins products is so uncomfortable to hear. Bose and Wilkins has changed ownership 4 times since 2016 alone. From Evo Automation to Sound United to Massimo, a medical technology company with zero audio engineering background, and now to Samsung's Harman division. 4 ownership changes in 9 years. Every new buyer announces a commitment to the brand's heritage. Every transition brings a new cost structure and a new set of priorities. The specific engineering problem repair technicians encounter in modern Bose and Wilkins speakers is crossover component quality. The crossover is the circuit that splits the audio signal between the woofer, the mid-range, and the tweeter. A well-designed crossover uses precision film capacitors and air core inductors. These components can easily cost $50 to $100 per speaker in a mid-range design. What technicians now find inside several modern Bose and Wilkins models are cost-reduced components that do not match the specifications the brand's reputation was built on. The cabinet remains beautiful. The driver cones are still identifiable, but the decisions made about what goes inside the crossover are now made by people whose primary expertise is quarterly margin targets, not acoustic engineering. The name on the grille is the same. The engineering philosophy behind it is not. And now brand number 5, the most expensive mistake you can make right now. Bang & Olufsen. Bang & Olufsen speakers cost from $1,000 to $15,000 per unit. The design is extraordinary. The industrial engineering is genuine. Walking into a Bang & Olufsen showroom feels like entering a museum of acoustic sculpture. To a repair technician, these products represent the ultimate combination of maximum price and minimum serviceability. Every Bang & Olufsen speaker is completely dependent on proprietary digital infrastructure. App authentication, cloud verification, firmware updates controlled entirely by the manufacturer. At the same time, they seal complex signal processing, amplifier stages, and crossover networks inside hermetically sealed enclosures that are designed to be aesthetically perfect and practically impossible to service. When the output stage fails, Class D amplifier stages under sustained thermal load inside sealed enclosures do eventually fail. There is no repair path. The device becomes electronic waste. Independent lab testing has revealed that around 30 to 40% of tested hi-fi equipment does not meet the technical specifications printed on the box. With premium hermetically sealed systems like Bang and Olufsen, this problem is amplified. You are paying for a specification you will never reproduce in your living room, on a device you cannot repair when it fails. Inside an ecosystem whose lifespan you do not control, the technicians know this. That is why their listening rooms contain none of it. So, what should you actually buy? The principle is simple. Passive speakers from brands that still manufacture their own drivers, publish real measurements, and keep replacement parts available for a minimum of 10 years. At the entry level, the ELAC Debut 2.0 B6.2 is around $350 a pair. It was designed by Andrew Jones, one of the most respected speaker engineers alive. Independent measurements show a remarkably smooth frequency response for the price. Nothing at this price point comes close. At the mid-level, the KEF LS50 Meta is around $1,600. KF's Uni-Q driver places the tweeter at the acoustic center of the mid-bass cone. The sound arrives at your ears as a single, coherent point source. Add a decent subwoofer, and you have a system that competes with setups costing 3 or 4 times as much. And here is the recommendation that the traditional hi-fi press will almost never make. Active studio monitors. Companies like Neumann, Genelec, and Jabil Professional build speakers with built-in amplification specifically tuned for the driver, DS per room correction, and a flat, accurate frequency response. The JBL 305P MKII costs around $300 for a pair. The Neumann KH050, at around $1,400 each, is used in mastering studios worldwide. Why does the hi-fi press never recommend studio monitors? There is no upgrade path, no cable upgrades, no amplifier upgrades, no preamp upgrades. You connect them to a source, and the music is just there. That simplicity is precisely why the consumer hi-fi industry ignores them. Here is the principle I want you to take away. 3 words: passive, measured, serviceable. Passive speakers have no software expiration date. Measured speakers have published frequency response data that proves what you are buying. Serviceable speakers come from brands that still stock drivers and crossover components years after the model is discontinued. Every speaker on this blacklist fails at least 2 of those 3 tests. Every speaker I just recommended passes all 3. The technicians already know this. Now you do too. If this saved you from an expensive mistake, subscribe. What is the oldest pair of speakers you still use? Drop the brand in the comments. See you next time.